Okay, so Be'ezras Hashem, we're continuing with our weekly shirim in the Zohar Kadosh. In this week's Parsha of Nitzavim VaYeilech, there's no Zohar Kadosh on Nitzavim, but there is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful expressions in the Zohar Kadosh in Parshas VaYeilech. And so we're going to look at a piece in the Zohar from the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, connecting itself to the depth of the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. We've spoken about how one of the elements of the Zohar Kadosh is the ability to draw the light of Chachma and the bittul of Moshe Rabbeinu down into the bina and the fire and the yigia of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. That Moshe Rabbeinu, we said, is min hamayim mishisuhu. He comes from that place of chachma, from the Yesod Da'aba, that expression of the light of chachma and absolute bittul, all the way down to the lowest place imaginable, down to the osios themselves. That's the light that's revealed on Purim fully, but that's the light of Moshe Rabbeinu, the chachma of Moshe, from that place of water that is beyond our awareness. Min hamayim mishisuhu, from that shmita of chesed, as the tzaddikim say, coming from a completely different place. Moshe Rabbeinu comes from a world of chachma. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the light of bina. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the eish. Bimeiron nikva Rabbi Shimon. It's the light of the tzafon. It's the light of the gvuros that are awakening within themselves to reveal more and more, to reveal the secret of Marav Tuvcha Sher Tzafan Telerecha. And the light of Rabbi Shimon is the Butzina Denahira, the illumination, the bonfire in the darkness of night, while Moshe Rabbeinu is the illumination of the sun and the brilliance of the day. And when we come to the culmination of Moshe Rabbeinu's light, when the Shemesh seems to be setting, when it's time for Moshe Rabbeinu to be nikvar b'makom the tzalmud lav hagunlai, for Moshe Rabbeinu to be buried mul beis pa'or, in that place where he awaits all of us to arrive in the secret of Chachma, to bring it into Eretz Yisrael, to bring the Chachma into the Bina, to be mashlim, to make a levush for the Shemesh, to make a bias for the Shemesh. Somebody told me, a big tzag that told me right when I was moving to Beit Shemesh, that the avodah of Beit Shemesh is to make a bias for the Shemesh, to give a levush to the Shemesh, to allow the light of Moshe Rabbeinu to continue and extend itself beyond Moshe Rabbeinu's death. And so when it comes time for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and the whole light of Rabbi Shimon comes from Moshe Rabbeinu, Alisa Lamarim B'Shavisa Shevi. And now it comes time for Rabbi Shimon to awaken the schus of Moshe Rabbeinu in Parshas VaYeilech. VaYeilech is the essential nature of the Zohar Kadosh. The Zohar Kadosh is ultimately a book that reveals why the neshama in the guf is higher than being a malach. That's one of the elements that is revealed from the Zohar Kadosh itself in the deepest way, is the ascendancy and the value of being a human being over and above the value of being a malach. And this is already explicit in Chazal when we talk about the deservedness or the undeservedness of the Torah. The malachim desire the Torah, and they say, why would human beings who are so much lower than us receive the Torah? And what Moshe Rabbeinu reveals there, when he grabs hold of the kisei, that first Torah in the second volume of Likutei Maharan, that kisei of Mashiach Tzidkenu, that chair of Mashiach Tzidkenu that reveals why the soul is higher than the malach. Ultimately, it's revealed there that all of the opposite things, the things that seem difficult, the things that seem frightening, the thing that seems stuck in the concealment of this world, the desire, the need, the urgency, the craving, all of those things like the kalvin, the tzak, and hav, like those brazenous dogs that scream out, give me, that's the nature of this world. That's the nature of this world, of all of the various desires of Bina, all of the various desires of what it means to make oneself feel okay in this world. And the light of Moshe Rabbeinu is the light of coming down to reveal the light, that light of Bittul, that light of Chachma that is going to continue to illuminate even after Moshe Rabbeinu moves beyond, even after Moshe Rabbeinu moves away. Moshe Rabbeinu is revealing that difficulty is the very place in which we're going to reveal the ascendancy of the human being over and above the Malach. The Malach doesn't struggle. The Malach doesn't die. The Malach doesn't wonder. The Malach doesn't crave. The Malach doesn't act like a brazenous dog. The Malach doesn't know the burdens of the body and the traumas of the experiences. The Malach doesn't know that. The Malach operates in a place of Amida. It operates in a place of self-sameness. Now, that self-sameness is far more proximate to the face of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's far more receptive of the revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's light, but it does not come about by way of effort. And because it does not come about by way of the effort that we understand, so the relevance of our effort in this world, so it's lacking the essential thing that gives it shape, which is the bina and the gevura of it. Moshe Rabbeinu is revealing the secret of holchim bein ha'oimdim, the fact that the human being walks. That's the essential nature of the Zohar Kadosh. The Zohar Kadosh is ultimately, other than the deepest book imaginable and the Pesach and the portal into Geula of the mind and the heart, and the collective redemption. It's also a book of Chavraya Kadisha walking together in the northern mountains of Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Shimon v'Chavraya, the tzaddikim asher ba'aretz hema va'adir sebam, the tzaddikim in the north, Marav Tuvcha asher tzafant l'orecha, they walked the roads. The book of the Zohar is a book of walking. The Heiliger Ramak, Rav Moshe Cordovaro, Rav Moshe, Daika Moshe Shapir Ka'amart, the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. Rav Moshe Cordovaro points out that the Zohar Kadosh is written in Aramaic. Why is it written in Aramaic? So the Leshem Shebei V'Chaloma brings down from the Ramak, and he shows that the reason that it's written in Aramaic is because the Malachim don't understand it. The Malachim will not understand the secrets of the Zohar Kadosh. But what the Ramak brings out, and it comes out from the Leshem as well, it's not simply that they won't understand the language. Malachim don't simply not understand concealment. They're disgusted by it. They're disgusted by Lashon Targum. They're disgusted by Aramaic. They're disgusted by the need to translate the truth of Chachma into the vessels of Bina. They're disgusted by the notion of having to grind down the principles of Chachma so that it can be palatable to the heart of each and every individual in accordance with their functioning, in accordance with their processing in this world. They can't understand why a person would get up and fall, get up and fall, get up and fall. They can't understand struggle. They can't understand distance, and therefore they cannot understand the renewal and the tshuva process that comes about when a person transforms themselves into a VaYeilech, into a walking, into a moving, into a struggle, into a galus, geula, nav v'nad b'seich beso, the back and forth until the Hesach Hadas that Mashiach arrives in. The Malachim can't understand this. And this is the light of Moshe Rabbeinu being drawn down into the Zohar HaKadosh itself, that it's the Das of Moshe that illuminates the possibility of walking as a human being and uncovering the secret that it is specifically within the concealment, that is specifically within the difficult effort to be Moser Nefesh for meaning, to be Moser Nefesh for a simple faith that chooses to see good and Noam and Neimus and Shalom in the world. A vision that doesn't deny reality, but rather forces itself to uncover the Nekudos Tovos that are hidden within even the ugliest, most impossible, grotesque places of reality. Those things that are being revealed in our lives, those things that are being revealed, those places of concealment that it feels like it can't be here. Hashem can't be here. It's impossible that he continues to be here. And nevertheless, at the end, to push oneself past the limit, to reveal through Mesiras Nefesh, the Emunah Kol Zos, that feminine quality of Emunah that is higher than any rationality because it is independent completely of anything. That is what's happening in the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu's Petira in the light of the Zohar HaKadosh, that secret of Emasai Ka'asimar. Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rosh Tevos Mar, Emasai Ka'asimar. When does Mashiach Tzidkenu arrive? When we draw the light of Moshe Rabbeinu down into the Zohar Kadosh. And what we're going to look at is something so incredible, such a beautiful, painfully beautiful Nakuda in the Zohar Kadosh. And we're going to see how Rabbi Shimon stands up to clarify exactly what it is that Moshe Rabbeinu, Kavyachol, is representing in the Zohar Kadosh. But first, let's look at the Torah, because we said that the Zohar Kadosh is only a commentary. It's a levush to the Shemesh. It's a levush to the Torah HaKadosh itself. The reason there can be infinite interpretations of a single pasuk and all of them are correct, because we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of even the simple meaning of a pasuk. So when we look at the end of Parshas VaYeilech, the Zohar Kadosh is going to be on the last pasuk. The Zohar Kadosh that we're going to look at is Vayedaber Moshe ba'azne kol kahal Yisrael, that Moshe Rabbeinu spoke into the ears of all of Klal Yisrael as Divrei Hashira Hazos, the words of this song, ad tumam, until their completion, until their perfection. But the pasuk that precedes that is after Moshe Rabbeinu is continuing to warn Klal Yisrael what happens when they let go of Das, when they stop being a Talmud of Moshe Rabbeinu. Ki adasi acharei moisi ki hashches tashchisun v'sartem min haderech. I know that when I pass away, because I am Das, anochi ki adati, I am Das, and therefore Das, when I move away, there's going to be a concealment of Das, which is why lo yada ishes kvuraso, because Moshe is the burial of Das within each and every person. Acharei moisi, when that Das, that yud, mos yud, that Das elyon and ne'elam of Moshe Rabbeinu, when it goes away, the natural thing that's going to take place is ki hashches tachshisun. There's going to be a descent into concealment, a doubled concealment, a double darkness. And you're going to now move away from the innermost point and find yourself in all sorts of crooked roads of not understanding where you are. Asher tzivisi eschem, you're going to go away from the original plan. The karasa eschem hara'a ba'achres hayamim, and the difficulties of achres hayamim are going to be called out upon you. But like we said, it's not because it's a punishment, but God forbid, it's the tichla shana v'kilkaloseha. All of the ugliness, all of the grotesque nature of this reality has to come to the top prior to us allowing for the world to be nitval in the mikvah of Mashiach Tzidkenu. The karas choisem hara'a ba'achras hayamim, hara'a, which is difficulty, which is evil, can also be read as ra'a emuna, the love of faith that emerges out of the urgency of having faith. Ki ta'asu es hara'a be'enei Hashem, because it's going to be this difficulty in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But that negativity can also be transformed into the Ahavta l'reach hakamoicha zekla gadol b'Torah, in the secret of Rabbi Akiva, who understands and intuits the das of Moshe that even Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't understand. And even when Moshe Rabbeinu has a hadas and he feels, how could Rabbi Akiva know something that I don't know? Until he hears Rabbi Akiva say that halacha l'Moshe misinai, that it's specifically going to be the secret of Rabbi Akiva, who is the Rebbe of Rabbi Shimon, who's going to be the Hamshacha after the Ptira of Moshe, after the first Luchos die. It's going to be the Hamshacha of the Torah HaKadosha, and it's going to be transformed from Esara'a Be'enei Hashem, the difficulty and the destruction in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is going to be transformed into V'ahavta l'reach hakamoicha. La'achisai b'maisei yadchem. You've caused anger to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with your hands, but if you can cause anger to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with your hands, imagine the joy that one can cause HaKadosh Baruch Hu with their hands. The dancing of the hands and the clapping of the hands. So this first pasuk describes how terrible things are going to be when Moshe Rabbeinu passes away. But look at what Rashi HaKadosh says. Moshe Rabbeinu seems to say when Das goes away, when the original Das of Moshe goes away, so then there's not going to be anything left, and a person is going to descend down into concealment. But asks the Heilige Rashi, but as long as Yehoshua alive, they didn't descend. As long as Yehoshua was there, the Levana was Makabah, the light of the Shemesh, and the Jewish people maintained. Shene Amar, as it's written, via Avoid Yisrael es Hashem kol yemei Yoshua, that Klal Yisrael served HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they had das all of the days of Yoshua. So Zak the Heilige Rashi, Mikan shetalmido shel Adam chaviv alav kegufo. From here a person learns that the student of the individual is as wondrous and as beloved upon the teacher as their own guf, as themselves. Kol zman sheYoshua chai hayanira leMoshe ki iluhu chai. Kol zman shehaya Yehoshua chai hayanira leMoshe ki iluhu chai. Kol zman sheYoshua chai hayanira leMoshe ki iluhu chai. That the light of Yehoshua, the light of the Talmud, the light of the Levana, the light of the reflection, the light of Emunah, the light of Torah Shabbal Peh, the light of Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon, and the Zohar HaKadosh, that is reflective of the illumination of the Torah HaKadosh, revealing more and more of Halacha l'Moshe Misinai. It's the secret that even though Moshe departs, even though the Shemesh departs, even though the first Luchos break, nevertheless, Kol Zman that the Talmud is alive, the Yehoshua that is not separate from the original illumination of Moshe, but rather an extension and a drawing down and understanding the need to speak down to the hearts of the individual in the greatest way possible to cultivate some element of hope and joy, that Moshe Rabbeinu sees as valuable and as significant as his own expression in this world. And therefore, the haftacha that Moshe Rabbeinu gave, that they were going to descend from Das, doesn't apply when the Talmud is alive. But the secret of what the Zohar HaKadosh is saying is that we're all Talmidim of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yoshua was the Levana that was Makabel from the Shemesh, but within Yoshua was the secret of Lan Be'emek HaHalacha, of uncovering the Pratius of Torah Shabbal Peh, which is Mipnei Shemesh, Yanin Shemo, the secret of Malchus that applies in each and every person's experience, in each and every person's own life, in each and every person's own situatedness and difficulty in this world, that each and every person's chelik in Torah Shabbal Peh is the chelik of Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon within them. It's the Shanuhurin of Shimon and Akiva, those two paths of uncovering the Das of Moshe in our lives. And as long as we're doing it, as long as we're connecting to the Das of Moshe, then it's like Moshe is alive. Because each and every time we connect to the Das of Moshe, we're drawing Moshe Rabbeinu back into Eretz Yisrael. We're revealing the difficulty, we're revealing the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu is buried within difficulty itself, that he's wedged between concealment and revelation. It is specifically that place, the burning sneh, that ugly, disgusting thing, that brokenness, that trauma, all of the burning thorns of it all of the concealment of it all of the ugliness of it all of it is illuminatory of the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All a person has to do is take off their shoes and stand in that place so that they can then start walking again to understand the value and the benefit of being a human being. One cannot understand the benefit of being a human being until they understand what it means on their level to live like a malach for a second, to stop and to think, what if I didn't have to grow anymore? What if everything remained the self-same? And then we put our shoes back on and we begin to be VaYeilech. The end is VaYeilech. The end is not Amida. And then we begin to reveal the Das of Moshe within each and every one of us. And with that, we'll go into the Zohar HaKadosh to draw the light of Moshe Rabbeinu down into the Torah about Moshe Rabbeinu's Petira from the Heilige Rabbi Shimon, which is Alis Lamarim V'Shavis Shevi, what Moshe Rabbeinu brought down. Taina, it was taught. Amar Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Elazar says, Mike Siv V'Yidaber Moshe, that Moshe spoke all of this. As Divrei Hashira Hazoy Sad Taimam, that he spoke out the entirety of this song until its completion, until its tamimus. Hacha isla estalka. Le'istakla, we have to look, we have to pause, we have to orient ourselves towards wisdom, towards chachma, to remove ourselves from the concealment of the heart and its emotionality and look through a perspective of chachma in an ideal way without acknowledging the reality of things for a moment. Mahu es divrei. What does it mean, the words of the song? Es hashira hazois mi ba'ilei. It should have just said Moshe Rabbeinu spoke this song, not the words of the song. Mahu ad taimam. And furthermore, what does it mean that Moshe Rabbeinu spoke them until their completion? Ella hachitana. This is what has been taught b'razid de masnisan, in the secret of the Mishnah. And the secret of the Mishnah, the light of the Mishnah is the cloud that gives birth to the pratim. So there were Mishnayos back then in Torah Asod also. We see this explicitly in the gross understanding of Safed Tzniusa, the significant portions of the Zohar Kadosh that were going to be seen as building blocks. So this is something that was the chelik of the Zohar Kadosh that was referred to as Masnisan. We learned this in the secret of Masnisan. Kol inun mile de Amar Moshe. All of the words that Moshe Rabbeinu said. All of the words that Moshe Rabbeinu said at the end of his life. All of the letters and all of the stones of this worldly experience which create the concealment of speech and expressivity. Every single word that Moshe Rabbeinu spoke, every single word that expressed itself in the Torah HaKadosha, in Torah's Moshe, all of them are engraved and attached to the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the Yud, the Kei, the Vav, the Kei, to the Shoresh of the Shem Havaya Ha'atzmi and the Shem Havaya Ha'etzem that is without letters, as the Rebbe Shlita has been discussing in the teachings of the Shla Kadosh, the 4 levels of the Shem Havaya that a person has to try and abstract back into to the point of coming to a place of letters without letters whatsoever. That all of the letters came and were Meskalfin B'Shma de Kudsha B'Richu. They created the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All of the ink gathered together, and all of the infinite ink gathered together, Kavyachol, to create these 4 expressions of the letters of the Yud Kei Vav Kei, which means that all letters are also an expression of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. V'chol Ilan Milan Havei Asyan V'Salkin V'Nachten U'Miskalfin Teiman. And all of these letters came and they ascended and they descended and they engraved themselves there. These 4 Lashonos, perhaps, Asyan, V'Salkin, they arrived and they ascended, would be the Yud and the Kei, V'Nachten, and they descended and they went down, U'Misgalfen, and they were finally engraved in that action of Malchus, the engraving, as Rabbeinu describes in the first Torah in Likutei Moharan, in the secret of Nachas, that we have to draw the light of Chachma down through the Nun of Bina and Malchus so that it can be engraved in a real way. If something is not engraved, it doesn't do anything. It has to be a glyph, it has to be something real, it has to be something that expresses itself in reality, the Malchus of it all. So it's Asyan, V'Salkin, V'Nachten, U'Misgalfen. They come, they arrive, they ascend, they descend, and they're finally engraved. All of the back and forth necessary in any act of engraving, the concealment and the revelation, the silence and the speech. The whole mila v'mila have asya kaima Moshe. And each and every word came in front of Moshe. Each and every letter came in front of Moshe. They came in front of the tzaddik. They came in front of the das of Moshe. The iskalfa al yada v'kaima kaime. They needed to be attached to the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the actions and the hands and the handiwork of the tzaddikim, and all of them stood in front of him. Hainu d'chsiv ad taiman. That's what it means until their completion. Moshe Rabbeinu stood there attaching the letters, just as Rabbi Akiva Kavyachol attaches the crowns of the letters to the letters after they had broken. Moshe Rabbeinu was connecting the letters to the Shem Havaya, so that when after the letters break, we can still connect the letters back to the Shem Havaya, to the very same Shem Havaya, to the Torah of the Aleph that remains in the Torah of the Beis, to the Torah of the Aleph, to the pre-traumatic Torah that always remains hidden within the post-traumatic Torah. Rav Abba Amar, Rav Abba, the secret of the scribe, the secret of the Chachma of Rabbi Shimon, the capacity to be metzamsem, the das of Rabbi Shimon, into receivable vessels through the system of writing, this engraving, these 4 levels of Asyan, V'Salkin, V'Nachten, and Meskalfen. Rav Abba Amar es divrei Hashira mi ba'ilei. What is the Hey Hayediyah when it says Hashira Hazois, this song that Moshe Rabbeinu is saying? It should be that the song was saying there's no identification of this name. My Karamiza, what's being hinted to here? It's not what does it mean, is it what is being hinted to here? What is being hinted to here? What does this extra Hey mean? What does this strange thing mean? What does any momentary deviation from the norm of anything mean to us? It has to be remez to something. There's a remez that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending down, as Rabbi Nachman describes in the 54th Torah of Likutei Moharan, that each and every day comes with its ramazim. And Rav Abba wants to say, what is the remez? Remez is dai l'chakima b'remiza. Remez is the secret of chachma. Rav Abba is asking the question, what is the remez? Because Rav Abba is chachma. Abba is chachma. It's the initial burst of enthusiasm. And the remez is re'ei mazeh. See that within the expression of something is exactly what it is. is. But what is being hinted to here? Ella shirasa de kudshabarichu amar. Moshe Rabbeinu was singing the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu was mevatel himself in Tachlis to the point that he was the Meturgaman. He was the one who was translating the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kavyachol. And this is where we learn, as the Meshilach says, that a person can't raise their voice above the speaker because the Meturgaman is the Ikr Nekuda of Bittul Hadas and the allowance of the self to become a Shliach Shal Adam Kamoso, to reveal the words of Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to reveal the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu through our Hespodadus, through our Tefillah, like we've spoken about, L'cha Amar Libi B'kshu Panai, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaks through us. It's the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's being sung. That's the Hey Hayadiyah. The Hey Hayadiyah that's being hinted to in this song is the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's being expressed. How do we know? Why do we know that the Hey Hayadiyah, when applied to a song, is expressive of the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's song? That we as human beings, not like Malachim, get to create the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the redevelopment of our narrative and our capacity to continue to sing and to make tzirufim chadashim that are still makusher to the Aleph of Anoichi Hashem Elikecha, that is still connected to the Torah, the Hayashena, and then we enter into the Torah of Atikas Tima'ah. So the secret is, my Karamisa, it's the secret. We know this from Shir HaShirim Asher L'Shlomo. We know that Shir HaShirim, we know that the song of Shlomo HaMelech, the Shir HaShirim, is also the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shir Shahashir Shirim, the song that the song is singing, the perpetual song that emerges from Bria. Malka de Shalma Kula Dilei, it's the song of the king who peace belongs to him, the Melech Shahashalom Shalo. The Pele Yoyetz, the secret of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shalom that he gives to Mashiach Tzidkenu. So we see from Shir HaShirim that it's also the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Va'ukmen amila mizmor shir liyoim hashabbos, and the truth is we find another place where it's the shir liyoim hashabbos mamish. It's literally the song of the Shechina Kadosh. It's literally the song that emerges from the Bria, which is the expression of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Olam Va'ed, which is the song that comes out from all of our concealment. It's the shir Pashut Kafel Meshulish Muruba, the secret of Asyan V'Salkin V'Nachten V'Misgalfen, to reveal how down here in the engravement of it all, in the translation of it all, in the concealment of it all, in the being human of it all, in the shattering of it all, that's where we're going to reveal the connection between the post-trauma and the pre-traumatic Torah from the base to the Aleph. It's going to be the song that Malchus herself sings, the songs that concealment sings. So we see that Shir HaShirim Asher L'Shleima Shir the Kadosh Baruch Hu Amar. So Shir HaShirim, the Hayidiyah, points out that it's the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'hacha es divrei Ashira HaZois Shir the Kudshabrichu Amar. And here it's the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well. It's the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zak the Heilige Torah. Zak the Heilige Zohar Kadosh. Now that we've looked and we understand that this song that Moshe Rabbeinu is singing is the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kavyachol, that ascends from our own experiences down here that makes us higher than the Malachim, the light of Moshe Rabbeinu descending down into the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the water being drawn down into the fire so that it can be preparing food. Ella hacha isla istakla. Now we have to look. Hasam shir. V'hacha shira. Da dachar v'da nukta. So we just made a Gzera Shava. We made a Gzera Shava between Shir HaShirim, and the Hey by Shir HaShirim means that Shlomo Malka Mashiach is just a remez for the secret that he was a vehicle to express HaKadosh Baruch Hu's song, the song that comes out from the Kohen Gadol and the Kodesh HaKadoshim, that only a person has access to their own Kodesh HaKadoshim. And only the Kohen Gadol has access to all of our Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Tzadik Yisod Olam. And that nigun that comes out of the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the song that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is singing, we learn out from Shir HaShirim. And so too, we see that the song that Moshe Rabbeinu is singing is the song of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But here by Moshe Rabbeinu, it's Shira, which is a feminine form of song. And over there, by Shir HaShirim, it's Shir, which is the implication of a masculine form of song. Now, we know that, generally speaking, the masculine and feminine counterparts, as expressed in the Zohar HaKadosh, are identified as their Anpin and Malchus, Kutshabrichu B'Shchinte, from above to below and from below to above, ease versus difficulty, Keseder versus Shalom Keseder, Torah Shebechsa versus Torah Shemalpeh, the Shemesh versus the Levana, Moshe versus Yoshua, Geula versus Golus, etc., 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 Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef, all of the Ribuyim that we can darshan on, because the light of the Torah HaKadosh and the light of the Zohar HaKadosh is infinite. But to keep focus on the particular point, why is it that we see over here a seemingly transfiguration of the order? Theoretically, Moshe Rabbeinu was the highest. He should be Shir. He should be the expression of a masculine shear, of a direct pointed shear, of a shear that has expressivity and application that can be niglach in all of the ways that we orient ourselves towards that hashpa'ah, towards that secret of being a mashpia or imposing ourselves upon reality or forcing our names upon reality. And that giving over, that orientation of masculinity, we would assume that we associate with Moshe Rabbeinu. But Shir Hashirim, that would be more feminine. That would be more of the chase. That would be more of the anticipation and the expectation and the desire. Both of these elements exist within us. But why do we see over here then, but by Moshe Rabbeinu's song, it's Shira, it's feminine, and by Shir Hashirim of Shlomo and Shalom, it's going to be masculine. It seems that the order is mixed up. So Elahach Isla Stakla. We have to look now. Hasam Shir. Over there by Shir Hashirim, it's Shir, it's a masculine form of Shir. V'hach Hashira, but over here it's a feminine form. Da Dachar v'da Nukva. V'ha Taninan. And we've also learned that Kol Neviah, all of the Nevi'im, Hulia legabe Moishe kekoif, Hula legabe Moishe kekoif, be'inayhu de b'nei Nasha. That when it comes to the Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu and the Nevuah of all of the other Nevi'im, so in truth, the other Nevi'im are to be compared to an ape in correspondence to a human being. Moshe Rabbeinu is the human being, and the other Nevi'im are the apes. Not, God forbid, because the koif is the secret of imitation, the kedusha, mahu afata, the dimyon, the kedusha, the schoik of Purim, the schoik of Yitzchak, that secret of imitation, that secret of targum. That's the secret. The Zohar Kadosh is a book of becoming like a kof. It's a book of becoming like a monkey for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the schoik of Adar, Hamelech of kof b'schok, and the secret of the jumping monkey that's bouncing around only with abundant joy because there's nothing else to do but find that joy. That secret of the fact that we're always pretending, we're always imitating, and we're always playing in a staged process that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has revealed from the very get-go. And as Klal Yisrael, we're Moser Nefesh to play our part over and over and over again ad tischak liyom acharun, until the point that it's going to be revealed that we've been the greatest actors imaginable, and we know already that there's a director of the play, and we know that it's all levushim, 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 but we continue to take levushim seriously because that's going to be the secret of azim aleis like pinu l'shanenu rina, of the shofar, and it's the secret of levusha v'tischak liyom acharun, that a person cannot live without levushim in this world. A person needs to be machadish levush, to be machadish the chashmal ha'elyon, to be mezachich the guf of Moshe Rabbeinu that rests in the hidden burial place of Baal Peor, and we have to be mezachich it, to be mamshich more das into our minds. But we see that Moshe Rabbeinu is considered the essential thing, while everybody else is considered to be a mockery and an imitation and a utilization of dimyon, like a monkey in the face of a human being, like an ape in the face of a human being. Just as we say all human beings are also kekoif b'fnei Ashchina, and that also includes Moshe Rabbeinu, kekoif b'fnei Ashchina. Even though we're going to see there's a darga of Moshe that's going to be revealed right now that also plays a different role with the Shechina as well, as the Ramak, and the Rebbe has been drawing from the Ramak recently on this Nakuda, not from the Ramak, from the Baal L'Chadodi, from the Baal L'Chadodi, whose name I am forgetting right now, the Heilige Baal L'Chadodi, Rav Shlomo Alkabetz. The Heilige Rav Shlomo Alkabetz speaks about the Darga of Moshe Rabbeinu having a secondary role for the Malchus as well, for the Shechina, and in that sense, he's not going to be considered like an ape amongst the rest of people as well. That's the secret of Isha Elikim. But Zak the Heilige Zohar HaKadosh. So we strengthen our question. Moshe Rabbeinu is higher than anybody else. Why should he be ascribed the feminine quality of song, while he loses out on the masculine quality of song, which, according to natural thinking and our orientation, we assume is a much higher level? The Inun Amre Shir, Moshe Amar Shira, Moshe is higher than everybody, to the point that he's like a human being in the face of apes, and he's the one who should be expressing the feminine form of the concealed song rather than the expression of the masculine song. Again, this is the secret of the Shir Meruba. The Shir Pashad Kafel Meshulish is the Shir of Yud Hey Vav, which is the Shir of the Zohar that is already being expressed. That's Az Yashir Moshe. But the Shir of the Nekeva, the Shir of the Be'er, the Shir that Moshe Rabbeinu was expressing now, is the secret of the Shir Meruba, is the secret of the expression itself that is being revealed from Malchus itself, from the concealment of this world itself, which is going to be the secret of V'tischa Kol Macharon, which is the secret of shofar, that Harim Kishofar Kolecha Kishofar is the Roshei Tevos of Pashut Kafel Meshulish Meruba, as Rabbi Nachman says in Torah Ches in Likutei Maran Chelek Beis. And so the question is strong. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu stuck in this song? But we're going to see. So Moshe Rabbeinu should theoretically be the one responsible for saying the masculine form of Shir. V'inun Shira, and everybody else, all of the other Nevi'im, including Shlomo HaMelech, should be the ones who are expressing Shira and a feminine form. Ella dahi razadamila. Zakt the Heilige Rebbe Lazar. Zakt the Heilige Rebbe Lazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon. The Moshe legarme lekamar. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't talking about himself. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't do anything for himself. Ella li Yisrael. But Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking to Klal Yisrael. He wasn't describing himself. Rabbi Lazar, the son of the tzaddik, he says everything that he does is for somebody else. It's for Klal Yisrael. And Klal Yisrael on that lower level, that they should be associated with the feminine quality of concealment and being an ape and imitating, etc., etc. And the secret of Shnayim Mikra Ve'echad Targum, but Moshe Rabbeinu was only talking for them. That's the perspective of Rav Elazar Bray. Rav Elazar Bray is that no, the tzaddik is up there and Klal Yisrael are down here. And therefore, when the tzaddik descends, it's only because it's for the sake of Klal Yisrael. And here we're going to see the deepest secret imaginable, the deepest secret, that Rabbi Shimon is going to correct his son, Rabbi Lazar. And he's going to say, no, it's nishtazoi. It's not as the son sees the father. It's rather as the father sees the child and the responsibilities of the father. The son sees the father as somebody who's completely removed and is somebody who does things for others. But the father understands that the Iker Tachlis is to be mashpia lamata and to be in the Olam Ha'asiyah Mamish and the Shir Meruba, and that's the benefit of the son, but it's also the Giloi of the true Maila of the father, that without the son, without the Giloi Lamata, without the Tzimtzum, there's not going to be a Giloi Lamala. And then it becomes the secret of the Melech that wanted to give kingship over to his son in his lifetime, because there's no jealousy, there's no kinatayv and kavod, rather there's wholeness and acceptance. Amalei Rabbi Shimon, lav hachi. This is not what it means. That is not the case. Lav hachi. Lav hachi, says Rabbi Shimon. And that lav hachi of Rabbi Shimon is a lav hachi, that the secret of lav is here right now. The secret of lav, the secret of lo, the secret of the tzimtzum and the hasagah b'derech shlila, and the recognition that in orientation to the secret of lav, to that which is above the mind, to that which always exceeds grasp and can only be grasped by way of lo, and the secret of the Olam HaMalbush, of lo yasigihu, when I come to terms with not grasping him, that's when I grasp him. So lav hachi, lav is over here, and Rabbi Shimon is going to reveal a new level of das, which is not the perspective of Rabbi Elazar of the tzaddik, and looking up at the tzaddik and thinking that they come down for the sake of Klal Yisrael, that Moshe Rabbeinu comes down for the sake of Klal Yisrael, but it's going to be the secret of what Rashi HaKadosh says, that mikan loimdim. From here we see that the Talmud is chaviv in the eyes of the Rebbe, just as himself, because the Talmud is a hamshach of the Rebbe, and we're all a hamshach of Moshe Rabbeinu. Memela, we're like Moshe Rabbeinu, and kol zman that we're alive, Moshe Rabbeinu is alive. Kol zman that we're alive, Yaakov Avinu is alive, as Rashi HaKadosh says over there as well. And so, Zot the Heilige Rabbi Shimon, Lav Hachi, from the perspective of Lav Hachi, that the or of Lo Yada is here, let me teach you something else. Ela Moshe Vada Mehacha Ishtamidu Deihu Bedarga Ila Yasser Mikula. The fact that Moshe Rabbeinu was allotted the feminized song, the feminine quality of experience that we all encounter, that emuna kolzos, that difficulty, that concealment, the not knowing, that place of that feminine principle of malchus that is lower than anything imaginable, that goes down, down, down to the very bottom of experience, to the point of hopelessness, right before the secret of Rabbeinu HaKadosh screaming out to us, right before we can open up our ears to hear the song of Moshe, which is Ein Shem Yesh B'Olam Klal, even when a person has been over the Isser of being Mityayesh, even if we've fallen into the trap of Asur L'Hityayesh, it's fundamental for a person to remember Ein Shem Yesh B'Olam Klal, the Ihu B'Darge Ilo Yasim Mikula. Moshe Rabbeinu's descent down, down, down into the lowest places imaginable was the deepest proof to his true ascendancy. Moshe Salik Mitata La'ela. Moshe Rabbeinu elevated himself from below to above. It was the Tzike Kedera, it was the clarifications of this world, it was the willingness to be a human and not a malach, it was the willingness to sacrifice the self for Nishmas Yisrael, because of the recognition that we're trying our very best, and that Moshe Rabbeinu would never let HaKadosh Baruch Hu feel anything other than that. It was to draw down the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a toiv hanira v'hanigla, that Moshe Rabbeinu's das, it's not separate than Rabbi Lazar's shita, that it's one and the same. Moshe Rabbeinu is Klal Yisrael is Moshe Rabbeinu, they're one and the same. They're one and the same. Each and every one of us is a chelik of the das of Moshe, to the point that we're all Rabbi Akiva, where Moshe Rabbeinu feels, how could it be that you know something that I don't know? How could it be that you're doing it without me? How could you be? Hashem told me it's my Torah, it's my das that's going to come into Eretz Yisrael. And Rabbi Akiva says, Halacha l'Moshe Misinai, we are all Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe Shapir Ka'amart. The light of Moshe is Salik Meta'ata La'ela. It comes up from the bottom, it comes up from the concealment. It comes up from the difficulty. But those other tzaddikim, Navi, those Nevi'im who express themselves b'derech shir in the masculine form, they arrive from above to below. Who salik metata le'ela, Moshe Rabbeinu ascends from below to above in the way of the secret of going down to the lowest place imaginable with Chachma to be Mala Malchus back up to the secret of Pnimius Chachma, Pnimius Atik, and the secret of Reish Loas Yada, of Lo Yada Ishas Kluraso, of not knowing anything but allowing ourselves to melt with the Shofar HaKadosh, who salik metata le'ela kama dasninan, like it was taught, Malin b'kodesh ve'in maridin, there's a perpetual ascent, VaYeilech. Being human means that one is forced to make themselves more than themselves in each and every moment, bein b'yodim u'bein b'lo yodim. And that's why the Torah of Pnimius is to just give us das to what we're doing already. We're struggling already. We might as well have the das. Moshe Salik Mitata Le'ela, Moshe ascended from below to above. The Amar Shira Tush B'chasa Demachanusa Ihu Mishabeches Lamalka. That the song of Moshe Rabbeinu is the song of the Shechina Hakadosha that is praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The songs that come from Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Lambad, the songs of the Yichud Tata, the songs of the concealment, the song of the Shem Ruba. Moshe Bekula is Ached, and Moshe Rabbeinu, the das of Moshe, is the secret of the Yichud between the two of them. That's the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. But everybody else descends from above to below. The Amru Shir, it's the masculine form of Shir. The Hushivcha, the Mishlabcha, Malka Lamatranusa. It's the Shevach from the perspective of HaKadosh Baruch Hu towards the Shechina, towards the concealment. It's a different form. It's a higher form, but it's an easier form of Shir. V'inun b'matranusa it chazu. V'alda b'hayish tamuda shivcha de Moshe. But Moshe Rabbeinu is taking joy with the Malka herself, is bringing the Malka to the Melech, is becoming the Malka, is Klal Yisrael becoming and connecting ourselves to Moshe Rabbeinu, and being Nichlal in Shechina, and allowing for the Yichud, the true Yichud, to take place when a person allows their das to be shalim in their minds, to be mechaber above and below with a tekifus, with a levush that's chazak v'na'eh, something that is strong and beautiful, beautiful and strong, remembering the darchei dachei in the secret of the Milchamta Shel Torah, is chadu, everything is unified, va'alda b'hayish tamud shivcha de Moshe Yasir Mekula, and it's this way that Moshe Rabbeinu is known in his greatness better than anyone else. Like the pasuk says, Az Yasir Moshe, the Moshe Rabbeinu's song is going to be the song of the future. Ubnei Yisrael es Shira Hazois, the body is going to be the place of the song. Shirasa de Matranusa, the song of Malchus. Leman LaHashem, it's going to be the ascent from the lowest place to the highest place. Ubeginda, and for this reason, V'yichtav Moshe es divrei Hashira Hazois, Va'anta Hashira Hazos. It's such a beautiful, beautiful Torah. It's such a beautiful, beautiful Zohar Kadosh. Just to end with something that the Heilige Yisod Yesharim says, and he expresses it mufurash. He says as follows: She'inyan Nevuah Samosha, the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu's Nevuah, the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu's ability to come from below to above, doesn't mean that he's rooted in a low place, but rather it comes from the loftiest place that is able to express itself even in the lowest places. Meaning to say, the Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu comes from the Yesod Da'aba, as it's expressed in Eitz Chaim Sharklalim Perak Yud, and it's so profoundly powerful that the light of Chachma and the Bittul can descend all the way down to the lowest level imaginable, like Esther Amalka, that connects to Mordechai Tzaddik in the lowest place imaginable. She'ein shum prat yoitza shelo yichlo mefurish b'divrei Moshe, that there is absolutely nothing, there is no prat in the unfolding nature of reality that will not be nichlal in the das of Moshe Rabbeinu, in the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, in the das and the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe emes v'sorasei emes, Moshe emes v'sorasei emes, and every prat is nichlal in the Torah of Moshe, and that is the uncovering of the Torah of Aleph within the Torah of Beis, that there's not a single prat that escapes the grasp of the light of Amunah, of the light of Moshe, v'nichlal b'hem kol pratim, and all of the pratim, the most difficult, down to the last drop of it, af ma shenira shu rak lefi sha'a, even that which appears to be a hara sha'a, even that which appears to break the entire system, all of that is thought about beforehand, and Moshe Rabbeinu is not able to face this reality at this time. It's only us who have to do it. We have to uncover the das of Moshe Rabbeinu within ourselves. Everything has a shayrish mitzad or Moshe Rabbeinu, from the light of Moshe Rabbeinu, b'chaye oilam, and it's rooted in infinitude, like Moshe Rabbeinu is connecting all of the osios to the Shem Havaya. Ki makara b'yesod hadas, that the light of Moshe Rabbeinu is the true das, is the Evan HaShasiyah that is mamtik all of the tzimtzumim, as the pasuk says, u'b'das chadarim yimla'u, and das will come to fill all of those empty rooms that are shattered and broken and difficult because of the difficulties. Yamalu, they'll be filled with beauty and pleasantness, as it says in the Idrizuta on the death day of Rabbi Shimon, revealing the secret of the death of Moshe Rabbeinu to Isgalif Chachmasu Umalia Kol Idrin Ba'achsadrin, that the light of Chachma is engraved and it now fills all of the pathways and all of the receptions and all of the holes that are there to be filled with the light of Chachma. Gzeu ad toimam. This is what it means to its completion, down to the lowest place. And the tachlis kol madrigos, down to the lowest possible level, down to the tchelis of it all, down to the tchelis doimel dam, down to the dimyon of it all, down to the Aleph Hey Yud, Aleph Hey Yud Hey, which is the secret of Hamtain, which is the gematria of Dam, Doim La Hashem Isalel, that a person needs to silence themselves and uncover the secret light of Emunah that exists within the Shira of Emunah, and then it's the Teshuri Merosh Amana. Then there's going to be an uncovering of the Shir Meruba to be Megala, the Shofar Hakadosh of Mashiach Tzidkenu, Be'ezras Hashem.